It has been a very long time since I have done a palette bingo. Like over a year since I've done a palette bingo. They make me nervous. Sometimes I like to choose my own shades. I don't want them to be chosen for me, but sometimes it's fun. And today is a palette bingo collab with Steff. This is the first time that Steff and I have collabed together, and we are both using Oden's Eye palettes. So if you want to know more about the palettes that we're using and the look that we're going to do, stick around. Hi, I'm Andi. Welcome or welcome back. I'm really happy that you're here. I am using the Stone and Rock palette from Oden's Eye, and Steff is using the Jewels and Gems palette from Oden's Eye. This is what it looks like. I randomly chose the shades for us, and while we're using different palettes and they have different shades in them, it's the same location in the palette. Does that make sense? So for instance, one of my shades is the 7th shade right here, and she also has to use the 7th shade. So that's what we're doing. It's going to be fun. I'm going to create this look. I am starting off with an eyeshadow primer. This is the Alter Ego eyeshadow primer. I really like it. The only time I've ever had any issues with it is when I was using very flaky duochrome, multichrome shimmers. They didn't stay on the front part of, like, in my crease. They didn't stay, and I put glitter primer on and all of that. As I said in my intro, I'm using the Stone and Rock palette. This came to me as a gift from Jen Beauty. I will have her linked in the description box below. She hasn't uploaded in a while, but she has a lot of videos on her channel. I enjoy her. She's a really good friend of mine, and she sent me this and asked me if I wanted it. I said sure, because I love Oden's Eye. I really do. I mean, I only had one other palette and 2 singles, but I like the ones that I have. Steff and I decided to do a bingo, and I think we both got pretty lucky. I think this is a duochrome. When I'm looking at it here, it looks teal, and here it looks green. That's odd. But I feel like I have a decent transition color. I'll put a graphic up on the shades that I have to use. I feel like there's a really good transition crease shade. Also, the dark green is very nice. There's a black, and then there are 2 shimmers. The lighter brown, and then that duochrome green. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I might be chicken and use it on my lower lash line. Okay. Let's just go ahead and get started. 1, 2. Let's just do this. I'm going to go into, you guys, I can't even read these shade names. They're in a different font, and I'm old. Now remember, Steff is using a different palette, and so her shades are going to be completely different than my shades. So I'm going to go into the Jubilance, and I'm just going to do a very fluffy brush because I don't want this to be very pigmented. I want it to be more of a transition. And these shades are already very pigmented, so I'm going to lay it down, and then I'm going to blend it out with the brush. But as I've said many times, I like to pat first, especially if I have not set my eyeshadow primer. This is an eyeshadow primer I don't have to set. So I like to lay it down first because I have very textured eyelids, and they don't always, it's not always nice if you just go in and start blending all willy-nilly. That is a little bit more orange than what I had thought. I mean, it is kind of a mustardy brown, I guess, but it's a little bit more orange than what I had originally thought it was going to be. So let me know in the comments below if you follow Steff. Steff and I have been talking quite a bit on Instagram. She is considerably younger than I am, but we do have a lot of interests, very similar interests. Makeup, panning, and then, you know, lifestyle, some lifestyle things that we just really clicked on. And when she asked if I wanted to do a collab, I was like, sure, let's do this. I have really cut down on my collabs. I have my monthly collab with Leanna Dalton, and that is not always, that doesn't always happen because life is busy. And so yes, I've cut way down on my collabs, but I have never collabed. This is just a clean brush. I'm gonna go in and blend this out. And so one of the times that we were talking, she asked if I wanted to do a collab. I said, sure. What are we gonna do? So I sent her a list of my palettes, and we don't have any of the same palettes. She said, that is so funny. We're both eyeshadow lovers. We do not have any of the same palettes at all. So that's really funny. But we both have Oden's eye palette. I have the Huda Rose Quartz, and then she has the alter ego equivalent to the Rose Quartz. I can't remember what that's called. And I love that palette. It's one of my favorite palettes, but I've only used this palette like once. So when she had the idea about us using our Oden's eye palettes and just do a palette bingo, going to be different shades, but I think that's fun. I really wish I had a blending out shade, but I don't. So I can't cheat. Can't cheat. Okay, now I'm going to go into Exuberance with a smaller brush. That brush? That brush. This brush. I think it's a dough color. And I'm going to put that on the outer part of my lid. And just small circles going to big circles. And just kind of lightly blend that out, because I do want that there, but I am going to be putting that black in the outer, in the very, very edge of the outer corner. Steff is a very sweet, she's a very, very sweet person, and I just love her heart. And she is also a cool, neutral girly like myself. Of course, there's nothing about this that's cool, neutral, but that's okay. I've been embracing the greens. If you have been with me any length of time, you'll know that Green and I are not friends. But I've been embracing the more grungier, wintry greens like these. Not like a bright green. I'm not. But I got a palette, Iconic London palette, that has some very light, like, sagey, not really a sagey, more like a seafoam green. And I've been loving that palette. So I don't know. I think it's just the bright greens that I'm, like the color grass, that I kind of shy away from. I'm not a big fan. But I do like these more grungier tones. And this is an absolutely beautiful palette. Another thing Steph and I have in common is panning. I got bit by the panning bug 2 years ago. And I jumped in with both feet this past year, and or 2024, and I actually ended up stopping. I quit like 3 different projects because they just weren't working for me. It's not something that I really enjoyed, and so life's too short to do stuff you don't enjoy when this is your hobby. I'm very thirsty. I've been up in this room for 2 days cleaning, and I don't know, it's really dark, but I don't know if you can see those Alex drawers right there. Anthony got me 2 sets of Alex drawers for Christmas, and because he loves me. And so I just put that one together the last 2 days. It wasn't hard to put together, but it was very time consuming. So my idea is, when I put the other one together, I might film it. Enough chit chat. I'm going into Passage, which is the black here, and I'm doing it on a pencil brush, and just that little bit. And I'm also going to tap it off. No, I'm not using that brush. That is way too pigmented. Let's see, let's do this. This is an Angie Hot and Flashy. I haven't been telling you what brushes I'm using. A504. Love this. Love the Angie Hot and Flashy. The first one I used was a crown brush. Love it. And then the blending out brush was an Angie Hot and Flashy. And then this was a dough color. And I'm just going to lightly, like that much. See that little bit on there? And I'm just going to darken up this outer corner. I don't want it to be super black. Thought about using this as a liner, and that was a cop out. I don't want to use it as a liner. I actually don't mind black shades in palettes because they do a really great job of darkening up. There was a palette that I did not like when I opened it. It was and I love Lunar Beauty, but it was a Lunar Beauty, and it was the Advent calendar. Not last year, the year before that. And I bought it, and I did not like that color story. Luckily, you opened up each shade. Each shade was a day, and then you put them in the palette. Luckily, I rearranged them how I wanted them, and I put it in my, I think it was Deca Panning for No Pan Left Behind. And I ended up loving that palette. There was a black in there, and I used it with this berry shade that's in there to darken up the outer corner. It was amazing. It was so pretty. All right. I think this is all. These are all of our mattes. So I'm digging it. I'm digging it. So now, I want a smaller. Nope, I'm going to use my regular. These are the AOA Studios. This is the E113. I have a ton of these. These are great for shimmers. Not every shimmer formula works with them. Some shimmers are finger shimmers. You don't only can use your fingers. I don't like those. I don't like using my fingers. I like using this brush, these brushes right here. So, okay, I'm going for it. I'm going for the duochrome. High Spirits. High Spirits. And I'm going to spray it. Oh, let me put some glitter primer on. Stand by. Shoot, I even got it out. I'm gonna put some glitter primer on. That will help. I'm afraid because it's a cool green, I'm afraid it's going to change my grungy theme I have going on. I don't know. What do you think? We're going to do it anyway. All right, spray. And then I'm going to put that on the center of my lid. Kapow. I'm seeing in my mirror here, I'm just seeing green. But when I look down at it, it's teal. So there's definitely a shifty shift in there. Yeah, that's very pretty. And I'm just putting it on the center because I'm going to use that other shimmer, that lighter brown shimmer. And I'm going to put that in the front part of my lid and kind of blend them together a little bit. Wow, that is really impactful and gorge. Oh, see, here's the thing about greens and blues. I say I don't like them, and I don't. I don't like them on myself, but man, I love to look at them. They're so pretty. I love greens and blues. Blues and greens and blues, whatever. Oh, that's really pretty. Do I have them even? Yeah, I do. I'm going to clean that brush off. I'm just going to flip the brush over. Did I tell you that shade was High Spirits? It's called High Spirits. And then I'm going to go into Lightheartedness. And that is that light brown. Ooh, it's very flaky. Yikes. Spraying that, baby. Then I'm just going to put it down on the front part of my lid. That is a completely different texture of shimmer. It kind of reminds me of a Super Shock formula. Let me feel it. Yeah, it does actually. It does. But I'm going to put that down. You guys, interrupting my own train of thought. I'm looking at this in my mirror and it looks teal. Is there a shift for you guys? Gorge. Thanks, Jen B. Thanks, Jen B, for this beautiful palette. All I'm doing is in the middle, I'm just kind of blending those two together because I don't want a definite line. I want it to flow a little bit gradual, a little bit of a gradient. All right, I'm going back into Jubilance, which is that first mustardy shade, and I'm just going to darken up this crease transition area. I don't think I'm going to be doing an inner corner this time, guys, because I don't really have an inner corner shade on here. But I am going to blend it to an oblivion. I'm going to try to anyway. Blending. It's so pigmented. Now I'm going to go back into the Exuberance, which was that green, and I'm going to bring that over a little bit more and blend that in with the green shimmer. And then I'm going to go back into that black. I'm just going to touch it. Like that. And darken this up a little bit. I wish I wouldn't have done that. I darkened it up a little bit too much. Because my palette was wet from me spraying my shimmer. And wet brushes will make them a little bit darker. Will make the shades a little darker. Going back in, blending that out. What do we think? I'm actually kind of digging it. That green in the middle really changed it up. I was going to use that as under my eyes. And I don't know, I'm kind of glad that I didn't. Yeah, I'm digging it. I am. It's something different. I like bingos because they put shades together that you wouldn't normally use together. Like I would have never used that shade with this look. I would have used that green with this shade called Cheer, which is more of a teal. Well, honestly, I probably wouldn't use the green at all. But now I have to because it's in a bingo. Okay, I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to do all the other face things. We'll come back, we'll discuss. I'll give you my thoughts. Don't go anywhere. So, finished look, you saw it in my intro, but this is the finished look. I really like it. I'm digging it. I really am. I didn't know, you guys. I didn't know if I was going to like it or not. I mean, as I did it, I knew that it was coming together the way I wanted it to come together. But I'm happy. I'm happy that this is the palette that was used. I very much enjoyed using it. I will be using it more throughout the winter because there are some wintry shades in there. I will show you what I have on the rest of my face very quickly. I have the Revolution Pore Blur. Doesn't say anything on it. It's already flaked off because this is really old. I'm trying to get through it. This will be a repurchase. I love it. It is a really great pore filling primer. I usually go between this one and my e.l.f. Liquid Putty Primer. But yes, love this. Have that on. I am using the Natasha Denona X Plus Foundation. This is too dark for me. I got it in a BoxyCharm, but it's one of my oldest foundations. So I'm trying to use it. But I'm using it with the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream because this is too light for me. But the only problem is this is almost gone. So I don't know how I'm going to use this when this is gone. But I'll figure it out. Either that or I'll just wait till summer. For my contour, I'm using the Sephora Contour Stick. 10 out of 10 recommend. This is a very cool shade. It melted when they sent it to me. It was melted. They did replace it. I don't need two of them. I gifted that one to a friend. But this has a very cool toned, almost gray contour shade. And I love it. I'm very cool toned anyway. So this matches my complexion very well. I think this is the lightest shade. Fair to light. Yes, it is. I'm pretty sure. But love it. Will definitely repurchase that once it's gone. I used the e.l.f. Putty Color Correcting Eye Brightener. I have been using the absolute heck out of this because I stopped using concealer under my eyes. My eyes were looking crinkly and old. They're still crinkly and old, but not near as much. I did not like what the concealer was doing under my eyes. I have a bunch of concealers. I will be using them as like spot correcting and that kind of thing, but this is it from now on, like under eye correctors. They're very balmy. They're very emollient, and they really moisturize under my eyes. Love them. I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Bronzer. This is in the shade Amber. This is in a project that you guys haven't seen the intro to yet. This is the Revolution Bronzer Reloaded, and this is in the shade Long Weekend. This is also in a project, and as soon as these roll out, I will be putting them back in. This is one of my favorite cream bronzers, but I am very pale right now, and these are very warm. So these are definitely summertime bronzers for me, cream and powder. This especially is very, very warm. So I will be putting those away. Once I fulfill my goal for my project, I will be putting those away until summer because they're very warm toned. For my blush, I am using the e.l.f. Primer Infused Powder Blush. This is in the shade Always Rosy. This is an Old Faithful. I'm going to attempt to finish this in 2025. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It goes with cool looks. It goes with warm looks. Like not super cool looks, but neutral to warm, slightly neutral to cool. I use it for so many different things. There was a time when this was my only blush that I had, so I used it for everything. I forgot to show you this. I used the Milani Conceal and Perfect. This is in the shade Translucent. 01 Translucent. If you are very fair-skinned, very fair skin tone, this is going to be too dark for you. This is almost too dark for me. And I'm surprised. I thought it was like a light to medium. No, it's translucent. It's #1. So I was really surprised that that it was just translucent. It's very warm. I used the Wet n Wild Clarifying Finishing Powder. I used this on top of my blush and my bronzer to kind of buff everything out. As you can see, it is almost gone, and I really like this. I don't know if they still sell it. If they do, I will repurchase it because I do not currently have any finishing powders, although I do use setting powders for finishing powders a lot. And I do have setting powders left, but whatever. For my lips, I am using the Maybelline Color Sensational Shaping Liner. Favorite lip liners. This is in the shade Totally Toffee. And again, this one is almost gone. It's broken. So yeah, it's broken at the unit at the bottom. So when the broken part is gone, it's gone. I used the Huda Beauty matte lipstick in Game Night. I've been using this a lot, fall and winter. There it is. It looks very warm, but it tends to go cool on my skin. This is what I have on. And on top of that, like in the middle of my lip, I have the shade Blankety from MAC, which cools it down even more. And those are a beautiful lip combo. I wear this lip combo all the time. I'm going to be really sad when that's gone. I mean, I'll repurchase it, but I'm still going to be really sad. So for my eyes, to tightline, I used the Avon Glimmer Sticks in Blackest Black. That is what I have left of that. I'm thinking that will be gone by February. I have a bunch of black liners. I will just pick the next one, the next oldest one. But I do love the Glimmer Stick liners so much. In my waterline, I have the L'Oreal, no I don't, I have the CoverGirl, and this is the Exhibitionist eyeliner in the shade Gold Metallic. It is beautiful. That is what it looks like. This is also in a project that you haven't seen the intro for yet, but I've been using it. I filmed my intro. That means I can use it. And, oh, mascara. I used the Essence Lash Princess. This is one of my holy grails. I love this. I did just order 2 of my other holy grails, and they just came in not too long ago, so that makes me happy. I will have a video coming out soon that is everything that I purchased between Black Friday and Christmas. You guys, I made up for lost time. You guys, don't forget to go check out Steff. I will have her video linked in the description box below. If you go over there, tell her I sent you. Tell her, hey. I very much enjoy her painting projects, and I was very, very happy to do a collab with her today. Steff, thank you so much for asking me to collab with you. Thanks for picking the palettes, and thanks for your time. I've really enjoyed getting to know you lately, and hopefully we can do this again. So you guys, let me know if you own any Oden's eye palettes, what you think of them. Are you a fan? Are you not a fan? Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. And until next time, everyone have a great day, and we'll see you later.